I would like to also draw the attention of the minister to the fact that this Central Bureau of Investigation has a very checkered history. It started as the Special Police Establishment in the Department of War in 1941. Subsequently, it was made independent through an ordinance, and it came to be known as the Special Police Establishment War Department. In 1946, another ordinance was brought whereby the Special Police Establishment War Department was turned into the Delhi Police Special Establishment War Department. And in November 1946, the Delhi Police Special Establishment Act was enacted. Now, under the Delhi Police Special Establishment Act, a Delhi Police Special Establishment was to be constituted, which was never done. And therefore, there is a very fatal flaw in the very existence of the Delhi Police Establishment, which is the premier remit that the CBI uses to investigate its anti-corruption cases. On 1st of April, and I had pointed this house, in the July of 2009, I had pointed it out that one day the CBI's existence will be struck down. And I will demonstrate that subsequently happened in 2013. Then, on the 1st of April 1963, the government decided to pick up the Delhi Police Special Establishment and make it a part of the CBI through an executive resolution. And that executive resolution was never approved by the President of India. Subsequently, a bench of the Guwahati High Court on the 6th of November 2013 actually struck down the existence of the CBI. And let me point out that judgment. It is Davinder Kumar versus Union of India. And that division bench judgment, Mr. Chairperson, sir, starts with a very beautiful line. It says, when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, it is liberty. That is what this judgment says. And I think there cannot be a more poignant commentary on what has happened in this country in the last 7.5 years. Now, let me read out that part of the judgment which held the CBI to be an illegal organization. On page 88, the division bench said, we hereby set aside the impugned judgment order dated 30/11/2007, passed in writ petition so-and-so, while we decline to hold and declare the Delhi Police Special Establishment Act 1946 is not a valid piece of legislation, we do hold that CBI is neither an organ nor a part of the Delhi Police Special Establishment, and the CBI cannot be treated as a police force constituted under the DPSC Act. And it further goes on to say, we hereby also set aside and quash the impugned resolution dated the 1st of April 1963, whereby the CBI was constituted. Subsequently, this judgment was stayed by the Supreme Court. Our government, the UPA government, had moved to the Supreme Court, and the judgment was stayed in the November of 2013. But it is regrettable. It is regrettable, Mr. Chairperson, sir, and we had a discussion in this House on the judiciary the other day. For the past 8 years, the Supreme Court has not found the time to actually adjudicate on the legality of the Central Bureau of Investigation. I am surprised that this government came into office in 2014. For the last 7.5 years, they have never gone and told the Supreme Court that this is an important issue which needs to be adjudicated. Mr. Chairperson, sir, and I pointed this out in this House in 2009 also. Presuming if the Supreme Court was to agree with the Guwahati High Court judgment, what would the implications be? Every conviction done by the CBI from the 1st of April 1963 will be set aside. Look at the kind of compensation claims that will come on the government, and no subsequent legislation with retrospective effect would actually be able to save the government. And I'm not talking about your government per se, I'm talking about government in general. So, Mr. Minister, sir, I would like to urge you that given the sheer import of what we are confronting, I think it would be in the interests of this government to approach the Supreme Court and ensure that the legality of the CBI is adjudicated. Now let me come to the Central Vigilance Commission amendment resolution. The Central Vigilance Commission also got statutory status as a consequence of this Jain Hawala judgment. And the enforcement director, or the procedure for appointing the director and the officials of the Enforcement Directorate find mention in Section 25 of the Central Vigilance Commission Act. In fact, in the Foreign Exchange Management Act, there is but a one section reference, Section 36, that there will be an enforcement directorate headed by an enforcement director. Now, the Enforcement Directorate administers the Foreign Exchange Management Act. It administers the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And it does not have a legal architecture at all. And therefore, every day, there are allegations galore, and as a lawyer, we hear them all the time, that how the officers of the Enforcement Directorate misuse and abuse the lack of checks and counter checks, because there is nothing in the manner of a legislation. And now if the government is going to bring this particular amendment, whereby you are going to put the director of the Central Bureau of Investigation and the director of the Enforcement Directorate on a drip, you are not only undermining the insulation which the Jain Hawala judgment provided, but down the line there will be implications. Because if you have a pliant director at the helm of affairs in hierarchical organizations, there will be a ripple effect down the line, and therefore the ends of justice will be undermined and they will be subverted. So, Mr. Chairperson, sir, what we are dealing with here is not an ordinary amendment which the Honorable Minister tried to pass off by saying that we are giving a fixed tenure of 5 years. First of all, it is not a fixed tenure of 5 years. It's a drip tenure on extension. Number two, the ripple effect of such a move down the line is going to completely and absolutely undermine the autonomy and the independence of these institutions. So therefore, in conclusion, I would like to request the government, I would like to request the Honorable Minister, that please take these two bills back. Please restore the position to status quo ante. Let the Director CBI and the Director of the Enforcement Directorate have a fixed tenure. Okay. You want to have a fixed tenure of 5 years? There is no difficulty with that. You want to have a fixed tenure of 3 years? There is absolutely no difficulty with that. But have a fixed tenure so that he is insulated, he is autonomous, and he is not at the beck and calling of the government, okay, which is the problem with these two bills. And lastly, Mr. Chairperson, sir, I would like to request the Minister. There are larger issues about the legality of the CBI. One day it will come back to haunt us collectively. Please file an application in the Supreme Court and please ask them to once for all determine whether the CBI is a legal organization or the CBI is an illegal organization. Thank you very much.